The world of TV has been disrupted, and we feel we need to adjust accordingly, and that's what we're doing by launching a streaming service, and that's what we're doing by...
Happy holidays, everyone! What a year 2017 has been. Much of it was spent following the proposed merger of AT&T and Time Warner, a move which would put Warner Brothers, HBO, and the Turner Broadcasting System under control of executives who now have the ability to throttle your internet connection. And then, never to be outdone, Mickey Mouse steps up and says, "Hold my lightsaber." The Walt Disney Company buying the majority of 21st Century Fox, a deal valued at a whopping $66 billion, would reshape Hollywood for the next several decades. While the Time Warner AT&T deal will have a more direct impact on consumers, Disney absorbing the majority of 21st Century Fox will consolidate two of Hollywood's big six studios in a way that puts the rest of the industry in a stranglehold. It's the crowning achievement for Bob Iger, who, since becoming Disney's CEO in 2005, has brought Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm into the fold. Meanwhile, Rupert Murdoch is streamlining and refocusing Fox on live news and sports. In exchange, Fox shareholders will receive a 25% stake in Disney, valued at $52.4 billion. Today I want to break down what Disney is receiving, what Fox is keeping, how this affects you, and the future of media as we know it. Let's start off with what Disney gets, and the list is topped by 20th Century Fox, the third most profitable Hollywood studio last year with a 13% market share. Disney was 26%. Disney will receive the distribution rights for the original Star Wars, as well as the home distribution rights for episodes 2 through 4. You know what that means? New special editions! Disney also inherits the upcoming 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or however many Avatar sequels James Cameron wants to make before he gets bored. Disney will receive Blue Sky Studios, responsible for 5 Ice Age films, 5 Ice Age short films, 2 Ice Age television specials, and Ferdinand. Fox Searchlight, which this year released award hopefuls Battle of the Sexes, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and The Shape of Water, will become Disney's first indie production arm since they sold Miramax in 2010. 20th Century Fox Television produces several shows for the Fox Broadcasting Network, including The Simpsons, Family Guy, Empire, The X-Files. They also produce shows for other networks such as This Is Us on NBC and Modern Family on ABC, and all those shows and the entire 20th Century Fox television studio are now owned by Disney. Alright, let's just get to the stuff you really care about. Marvel! Superheroes! The X-Men are joining the MCU! Let's calm down. This is still going to take several years to work out, but yes, essentially I believe X-Men and the Fantastic Four are going to center the 4th phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is what will keep that franchise alive for the next decade and beyond. Unfortunately, this means we have 2 lame duck X-Men films coming out next year, neither of which I have high expectations for anyway. We're also getting a Deadpool sequel next year, and Marvel and Disney have already said that Deadpool will remain rated R once in the Disney family. Once Kevin Feige gets his hands on the X-Men, though, I expect a full reboot. That cinematic timeline as it is right now is way too convoluted to coexist with what Feige has created. Disney is also getting a slew of TV channels from Fox, starting with the FX networks, FX, FXX, the FX movie channel, and the FX Now app. Together, these channels house several shows including Always Sunny, Archer, The Americans, American Horror Story, American Crime Story, Atlanta. Any show you've ever watched that begins with the letter A airs on these networks. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah, that's gonna move to FX now. Disney also gets the Fox Regional Sports Networks, the 22 channels around the country that air local sports, including Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA. These networks sign contracts directly with the teams for regional airplay as compared to the NFL, which is a national contract. A Nielsen study last year found that sports consumers in major American television markets consider their local Fox Regional Network to be more essential than HBO or even ESPN. These 22 networks have a total value of around $20 to $23 billion. And yes, these networks, I can guarantee you, will be rebranded as ESPN regional networks. By getting in on local sports, ESPN increases the value of their brand, gets more subscriber fees, and down the road will be able to obtain the streaming rights for all these basketball, baseball, hockey teams. And it is all about streaming, which brings me to possibly the most important aspect of this merger, Hulu. Disney, who already has a 30% stake in Hulu, will obtain Fox's own 30% stake, giving Disney majority control over the streaming service. Comcast owns 30%, and Time Warner, soon to be AT&T, presumably, owns the remaining 10%. With this expansion, Disney now has the tools to evolve beyond the traditional media landscape. The future of entertainment is streaming, digital first, direct to the consumer. Disney has already announced plans to launch a streaming service in 2019. Could they convert Hulu into this platform? It's possible, but they would have to negotiate with Comcast and Time Warner for the remaining 40% of the company, assuming they want total control. Finally, Disney gets Fox's 39% stake in Sky, Europe's largest streaming and broadcasting company, as well as total control of Star India, an Indian entertainment company with 720 million television viewers a month. This gives Disney massive new outreach in the international entertainment community. Oh, they also get National Geographic. Now let's talk about what Fox is keeping and getting from this deal. First of all, Fox will be rebranded as a new Fox, according to Rupert Murdoch, focused on live sports and live television. They are keeping the Fox Broadcasting Company, one of America's 4 broadcast networks, which could not be sold to Disney as Disney already owns competitor ABC. Now, although Disney won't own the Fox Broadcasting Company, they will own 20th Century Fox Television, the studio that produces most of that channel's content. Fox also keeps Fox News and Fox Business Network, 2 of the most watched cable channels, Fox Sports, which totals 6 networks, including, of course, Fox Sports 1 and 2, and broadcasts Major League Baseball, NHL, NASCAR, and the 2018 FIFA World Cup. And as we all know, the United States national team is so good. Fox will also retain ownership of 20th Century Fox Studios in Century City, which they will loan back to Disney for the next 7 years. Fox shareholders receive a 25% stake in Disney, while Murdoch and his family will receive specifically 4.4% of Disney stock, making them Disney's second largest shareholder behind Vanguard, a privately held investment management company. So, what do I make of this entire deal? First, it's important to note this deal is not done yet. We now enter an extensive regulatory process, and antitrust concerns are bound to arise across Hollywood and in the political spectrum. The approval process will take 12 to 18 months, well into 2019. Assuming this deal goes through, there will be some bureaucratic streamlining. Disney estimates $2 billion in savings, and industry analysts expect between 5,000 and 10,000 jobs to be reduced. As I touched on before, Disney has now secured the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and now has dozens of new properties for attractions at their theme parks, which are still giant moneymakers for Disney, as well as new avenues for merchandising. I recently spoke about ESPN's struggles with the cord-cutting movement, and while the addition of Fox regional networks doesn't fix all of ESPN woes, it does greatly expand Disney's sports portfolio, and the mission is to convert this expanded audience into ESPN Plus subscribers down the road. In conclusion, the future of media is digital, and with majority control of Hulu and ownership of Fox's content, Disney will have the means to become a streaming giant. Disney would own hit shows including The Simpsons and How I Met Your Aunt Robin, and films such as the Planet of the Apes, Aliens, and Kingsman series. Combining Fox and Disney's recent decades of content, and you have the single greatest media library imaginable. And with another production studio in the system, Disney would have the ability to mass produce content for their new streaming operation. What's unknown at this point is whether Hulu will replace Disney's intended streaming platforms, scheduled to launch in 2019, or coexist with them. Comcast still controls 30% in Hulu, and I can't imagine they'd cash out easily, so don't be surprised to see Hulu exist in a Disney streaming bundle, along with ESPN Plus, which launches next spring, and Disney's primary streaming service, still a couple years away. Either way, Disney just blew the doors off of the digital content arms race, which will only get more heated moving forward. Netflix might be today's streaming standard, but Disney's recent moves paved the way for their dominance in the next decade. What is certain, however, is that Bob Iger, who has extended his role as Disney's CEO until 2021, once again postponing his retirement, has cemented Disney's entertainment monopoly and ensured the company's continued success as media evolves into a digital industry. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. Please, let's have a conversation in the comments below. What do you think about this merger? Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already, and stay tuned for more here on TV Junkie.